I am stranded in the San Francisco Bay Area on my Aprilia Tuareg 660. And for those that wanted to say I told you so, stick around. Hey, how's it going? Hopefully better than it is for me. I have a problem with the bike, but in this particular instance, I really am not blaming Aprilia or the bike. I think it's an issue with the dealership that I went to for the initial service. So to get right to it, the countershaft seal is blown. And when I first got the bike in the first couple hundred miles, I saw a couple oil leaks. I decided to take the bike into the dealership for the initial service and so they could evaluate the seal around the countershaft. Yeah, so the bike is loaded up on the trailer, partly because I need to take it in for some warranty issues and because I'm trying to establish a relationship with this new dealership that I didn't buy the bike at. I have made the decision that it would be best if I got the first service done with them and not just show up for warranty issues. So you may disagree with me on this, but that's what I've decided to do. I also want to be very transparent with my experience on this bike. I have gotten comments that run the scale as this being terribly unreliable to people who actually ride this bike that have 10,000 miles problem-free. So I don't really find that the issues that have came up being that significant. They just need to be addressed. So the first issue is it appears that the countershaft seal is leaking just a small amount. When I would get done riding, there was a few drops of oil on the floor underneath the bike, and then you can see one half of the chain is very gooey. To me, that's really indicative of that seal leaking just a small amount, but I want it replaced, so I'm taking the bike in for that. So not ideal. I wanted to do all the service myself, but I think in this case, I've made the decision to take it in for that first one. In an effort to be transparent, I will let you know how the progress of this goes. The dealership did the initial service and they came back and said they looked at the countershaft seal and they just saw oil everywhere and cleaned it and told me that it was chain lube. And I was very, very skeptical that it was chain lube. I did not see how chain lube after 600-700 miles could still be dripping off of the bike, but I was not in a position where I could protest and just said, okay, I'll trust them. And that was a mistake. So I left my home on a Wednesday, and at the end of that day I saw drips like I had been seeing, and I thought, well, they freshly lubed the chain, maybe that's what it is. And then on Thursday, by the end of the day, I was seeing a lot more drips, a lot more oil coming off the bike. And then on Friday, essentially the whole drivetrain area, oil is getting flung everywhere. So I had to stop and buy a quart of oil. I had a place I had to be on Friday night, and now it is Saturday. I have found a dealership that's an hour away. I made sure there's oil on the bike and I'm gonna take it up. So my biggest frustration right now is that I told the dealership that I thought it was the countershaft seal, and they blew me off and made their own diagnosis, which if you had looked in there and seen that much oil, it's not possible, especially with it being everywhere. The chain was super wet, and chain lube doesn't lube the chain like that. So half of the chain was really, really wet. The other half was dirty. The only thing that could be is a leaking seal. So here I am, stuck in the Bay Area. I'm gonna drop off the bike here in about an hour, hour and a half. I will let you know what happens from there. What I'm looking at is if they can't get, I'm gonna be out here for about a week. I've got some camping. I'm gonna borrow a car and go do the camping I was gonna do on the bike. But if it can't be done, fixed in a week, I'm gonna have to fly home and come back and get it at the end of 1st of July. So I'll give you an update. I just dropped the bike off here at the dealership. They're gonna get the evaluation started and hopefully be able to get approval from Aprilia or the Piaggio group to do the warranty work. Depends on whether parts are in the United States or not, on whether I get it back Saturday. I should know by the end of today or Tuesday. If not, I need to get flights booked pretty quickly to get home, and then also look to fly back. So probably fly back to San Jose catch an Uber here, and then start riding again. So that's how it goes. Just a quick update. I spent the weekend, Memorial Weekend, in a hotel. Thankfully, I was here visiting somebody, so that made it a lot better. And she was able to drive me around and help me get the bike to the shop. The shop was supposed to take a look at the bike on Saturday when I dropped it off, but I got a notice today, Monday, Memorial Day, the 27th, that the appointment is actually not scheduled until tomorrow. So I don't expect to hear anything for a few days. So I'm in a position where I'm gonna need to fly back, but I'm gonna try to give it a couple more days. I'm gonna borrow a car and finish the trip I was planning to do, riding through the Pacific Coast Highway all the way up the California coast to Oregon. It's not the way I wanted to do it. I wanted to be on the bike, not driving a car. But I already have reservations at multiple campgrounds, and since I'm trying to give them a chance to get the bike fixed, I'm gonna do that, and then most likely have to fly back next weekend. Thankfully, I have a little bit of time, but this is really irritating. And the other thing is, at least I have someone I can leave all of my gear with. I've got a big pile here, I've got a big pile there, that's been in the hotel all weekend, so now I gotta get it put in the Jeep and I guess turn this into a driving trip. Not excited about that. It's late Tuesday afternoon. Update to this point is the warranty claim has been submitted to Piaggio at some point today. I checked in around 3:30, and all I know at this point is it's been submitted. Dropped the bike off Saturday, now we're into Tuesday. I don't expect that any work has got started, so I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in order to pick it up on Saturday. So I'm hopeful that maybe I'll still be able to pick it up. I'll keep checking in each day. But with that being said, I am sitting in front of a coastal redwood that is enormous. So not necessarily a bad way to spend my time, but I am driving and not riding. I'd rather be riding through these redwood forests and not driving. So that's where I'm at. Continue to give updates until I figure out what happens. It's been a week since I dropped the bike off. Week and a couple of days. It's Monday. Shops aren't open Sunday, Monday. And flying home. I didn't have high hopes that they'd be able to get it fixed in a week, and even worse is they haven't even approved the warranty work yet. So not happy about that. I have my riding gear in this duffel that I had to buy from REI. So yeah, flying home. So I knew there was a problem. The dealership ignored me and convinced me that it was chain lube, which, I mean, I'm not sure how I would have argued with them to get them to look at it any closer. So here I am. I'm probably gonna stop in this next week and visit with them about it because it's disappointing. They should have done better. So yeah, we'll go from there. Anyway, to be continued. I have no idea when I'm gonna get the bike back. I'm hoping I can fly to San Jose in over the 4th of July period and pick it up and ride it home. That's a month from now, so we'll see what happens. So anyway, if you made it this far and you have got through the misery that I've had with dealing with this bike, and if you feel like telling me you told me so, leave that in the comments below. If you've had similar issues with your bike, I want to hear your stories. So of breakdowns and having to leave bikes and whatever it is that's happened that have put you in a bind. So leave those in the comments below too. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. Get out, do some riding, ride safe, and I will see you out there.